Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. So recently I posed myself the question, if your makeup collection disappeared mysteriously, hopefully that will never happen because I would be heartbroken. If it disappeared, what eyeshadow palettes would you buy first? Or what eyeshadow palettes would you want to buy first? And I was kind of like, thinking about this question, and I came up with 3 standout eyeshadow palettes that I absolutely love, and I'm going to be sharing them with you guys today. These are 3 colorful eyeshadow palettes because you guys know how much I love color, and they're really great quality, they're really wonderful, and I use them to death like all the time. They're amazing. And I think that a lot of you guys might recognize some of these because I feature them on my channel a lot. I actually did use one for this eye look today, and I just always keep the other ones on rotation as well. You probably see them a lot on my channel, and for good reason. You guys know how much I love color, pigmentation, blendability. I'm so really into really high quality palettes and formulas, and right now my style is so colorful that these 3 palettes are all super colorful themselves. If you are interested in finding out some amazing neutral palette recommendations, I have exactly that video for you. A while ago I did my top 5 neutral palettes video, which will be in the cards as well. I still stand by those top 5 palettes. I absolutely love them. However, my style right now is primarily colorful, which is why all these palettes are seriously so colorful and so beautiful. I absolutely love them. So we're just going to get straight right into it. The first palette that I have to share with you is actually my oldest palette in this trio of palettes. It's the Magic palette by Juvia's Place. And a lot of you guys might be looking at this and you're like, what? Because a lot of people actually for some reason don't necessarily like the color story. I love the color story. I think it's absolutely amazing. For some reason, I look at this color story and it instantly makes me happy because you have some beautiful metallics, you have some amazing, my sequins are coming off. You have some amazing beautiful mattes as well. I definitely think though that the standout aspect of this palette is pretty much the metallics, because the mattes are beautiful. This one goes on like a dream. These 2 require some work every now and then, but I'm able to put in that work because the metallics in this palette are seriously the best. Well, some of the best in my collection. They're absolutely smash fabulous, and you will see me reach for this palette a lot. In tutorials, when I want something a little bit extra, when I want something a little bit fun, I like to go for one of these colors to pop into my inner corner, all over the lid, etc. These are some seriously absolutely beautiful shadows that I'm just obsessed with, that I'm in love with. I just love this palette. It is so beautiful, and it's pretty much my favorite Juvia's Place palette because I'm always reaching for it. I'm always dipping into it. It's just such a pretty palette that I absolutely love. They actually have the Magic Mini on sale. I have the big one because when I got this, the mini was not available at the time. But yes, I absolutely love this palette. There are 16 shades and I use pretty much all of them all the time, except for I'd say maybe these 2 and this one. I just don't use those colors because they're neutrals, but if you love neutrals, you might really find those colors really handy for you. I absolutely love how there are 2 rows of cools and then 2 rows of warm. It's just such a beautiful versatile palette. It's just amazing. I love it. If you're a color lover, I would highly recommend this. Granted, of course, that you can find inspiration from the color story, because I do understand a lot of people look at this palette and they're like, I'm not sure what kind of look I can create with this. The way I do it is I either use this palette exclusively or I use it to supplement other eyeshadows in other palettes or other singles, if that makes any sense. So this is absolutely beautiful. The quality is sublime. The metallics are just amazing. Then I have to talk to you guys about the palette that is my cool tone wonderland. That is my green, purple, blue baby. I love this so much. This is the Hasina 2 from Blushtribe. These are all indie brands, by the way. These are all indie brands. You know how much I love indie brands. They seriously have some of the best eyeshadows. Don't listen to anybody that tells you indie brands are lacking, because that is not the case. They are seriously amazing, and my favorite, most used products, especially when it comes to eyeshadows, do come from indie brands. But yes, back to this palette right here. This is Hasina 2, and I actually sat on getting this palette for a while because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. I wasn't sure if it would be worth it. I got it, and it is seriously one of my most used and most loved palettes. If you open it, This is the sleeve. I just like to keep the sleeve because I find it's kind of nice. But when you open this palette, just, oh my gosh, just look at how beautiful it is. If you want swatches on all of these colors, there is a swatch party that I filmed and put out, I think it was a few months ago, that is up in the cards, in which I pretty much went through each and every color and swatched everything for you guys. So that's up there, as well as like a playlist in which I feature like all of my tutorials and videos in which I've included this palette. But I digress. Moving on, I just love this palette. Like, there's every single palette, every single color in here is absolutely beautiful. I did a review on this palette and you guys know how much I loved it, and I did say in that review that at the time I had not tried this black shade. Now I have, and it's seriously just beautiful and it's amazing. All of these colors are beautiful. I love them. There's just really nothing bad I can say about this palette because the quality is so amazing. This is definitely one of the more unique color stories in my collection, and I would say in the industry, because you don't see a lot of makeup brands launch cool toned eyeshadow palettes that are very colorful, and you don't see a lot of makeup brands do that well. Blushtribe just hit the nail on the head with the Hasina 2. I can definitely say that I look at my makeup collection as a whole, and I can't find a color story in my collection that quite matches this whatsoever. This is seriously like just one of the more unique palettes that I own, and I absolutely love it. I use it all the time, and then again, I also use it to pair with other eyeshadow palettes. Like, I think I've used this palette with this palette several times, and I've definitely used this alone. I also used it with, I think, the Subculture. I mean, I've used it with countless other palettes. I'm just naming a few, and I have done tutorials that will be in the cards, but I just love this palette. It is so good. It is probably one of my favorite eyeshadow purchases that I've done in the last few months. It is just such a beautiful palette. You have foily metallics, you have like a shimmer in here, you have mattes, and all of these colors go on beautifully. They swatch well and they go on well in the eyes. These are just amazing. I just love these colors. They're so beautiful, and this is just a palette that is so near and dear to my heart. I would absolutely repurchase this palette if I ever lost it, if it was ever taken away from me. And I mean, I don't want that to happen, of course, but this is such a beautiful palette. The quality is amazing, and this is an indie brand, guys. This just is one of my favorite palettes. I absolutely love it, and I will say that today is one of the few days that I haven't worn a shade from this palette on my eyes. I usually just wear this palette all the time, but the palette that I am wearing on my eyes today, I'm actually wearing one shade from this palette. This is the colored Raine Vivid Pigments and Shadows palette. I love it. It is so beautiful. I have done, let me think, I've done a first impressions on this, I've done many tutorials, and there actually is a playlist on my channel so you can see all the videos that I've done featuring this palette. And I've also done a swatch party on this palette as well. But yes, 16 shades of pure absolute goodness of high quality pigment. These shades are so beautiful. I think that I did like a video in which I was introducing to you guys a dupe for the James Charles and Morphe palette. And the dupe, spoiler alert, was this palette right here. Why? Because I think that this palette is, in my opinion, a palette that I love so much more than the James Charles and Morphe palette. That is not to say that that palette is bad. I like that palette too. I actually really do love that palette. But which palette do I like better? This one. It is so beautiful, so spectacular. Like, this yellow is seriously the best yellow in my collection. I want to do like a video in which like I show you guys all the yellows that I own and I rank them for you, but I will say, spoiler alert for that one as well, this one is probably the best in my collection. I'm wearing this on my like inner corners today, and this entire palette is so good. The pigments are just high impact. They go on so well. They blend up beautifully. I have not had any issues with patchiness or just like wear time with these. These are absolutely beautiful. I think that anyone who wants like a selection of really beautiful eyeshadow colors can benefit from this palette, especially if you're a beginner to color and you want like a variety of good quality mattes. This is a palette to look at. I think that a lot of people who have like a lot of really colorful eyeshadow palettes and a lot of really colorful shadows might not like this palette as much as I do, because I have a relatively small collection of colorful eyeshadow palettes. I'm building it, but it's small at this point. But this palette for me is like an all-in-one palette. I pretty much have like every single matte that I can desire, every single bright matte that I can desire in this palette already, so that's why I use it so often. And yeah, I love it so much. So that pretty much concludes my video on the top 3 ride or die. Well, my mic just went weird, sorry about that. But this concludes my video on the top 3 ride or die favorite palettes. Like, if I lost these palettes, I don't know what I would do with myself, you know. But these are so beautiful. Like, they're all amazing. Again, they're all from indie brands. I love all of these brands so much, and I love these palettes. They're high quality, they perform beautifully, and I'm somebody that is really picky with my makeup. I will definitely say that. I like a lot of makeup products because I tend to do a lot of research before purchasing certain items, but I am very picky with my makeup. And you know, I mean, I know, I'm just telling you, I know that if I'm wearing these palettes this often and I'm still not tired of them and I can still create beautiful looks with these palettes, these are keepers. Like, these are amazing. I love them so much. I love them. They are absolutely beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little shorter version of a video. How long is this video? I've been filming for about 14 minutes, not very long, but that is pretty much the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it useful. These are amazing. And like I said, I've done so many videos with these palettes. Be sure to check them out in the cards. I will be sure to place them in the cards as well, and just check them out on my channel too. But that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative and useful, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye, guys.